So when you look at the passage, you may not be able to identify what it is, but with the title you can sometimes predict. So once when you put lot of efforts in order to understand just 1.5 paragraphs, then it is obviously energy draining. Even if you have the habit of reading the passage first, it is better you go to the questions first. Hello everyone. I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to learn about one of the language component session prescribed for 3rd Sem BCom. So let us begin our session. Today's session is all about reading comprehension. Okay, we are going to understand few things that are very much required for reading comprehension. Okay. So what are we going to understand in today's session? What is in the module? So that we'll be understanding now. Okay. So in this module, we'll be having the tips and tricks that are required for you to read properly and get that 4 marks that is prescribed for you. Okay. So basically speaking, the tips and tricks, this will include how do you read it? So how do you read it? How to read? Then where to start reading. Okay, do you have to read the passage first, or what should you do? Where do I start in order to stop wasting time? I should not waste time just to get 4 marks. At the max, I can spend 2 to 4 minutes in order to secure that 4 marks. So that we are going to understand, that is in the tips and tricks in today's session. Okay. So altogether, let me tell you, you'll just after this session, you'll be able to understand how do I easily get this 4 marks. That's it. Okay. So let us start. What is the main question that actually haunts any student's mind? Okay. So whenever it is reading comprehension, actually few students, they actually get very much scared. Okay. So they keep thinking, how do I improve this reading comprehension? How do I improve my skills in reading comprehension? There are various ways in which you can improve these skills. Okay. So to begin with, you can just have a preview. Okay. You can just have a preview of the passage. So as soon as you get the passage, okay, you see the question paper. As soon as you get the question paper, yeah, of course, for few people, reading comprehension is the easiest. It is the easiest. But for few people, it is too tough a rope to row. Okay, it is extremely difficult because comprehending is not actually very easy. Okay, so there are ways in which you can improve that. Okay, there are various ways in which you can improve that. Previewing is one such. Of course, practice is something which you do it as a background work. But when you get the question paper, what do you do? When you are in that situation, you're already in the water. So you have to know how to swim, isn't it? So what do you do first? First you preview. Okay, you just go through maybe you'll just get an overall view of that passage. Okay, what is there in the passage that you will be able to understand. So sometimes you try predicting also. You try predicting the meaning also. Sometimes there will be a passage given and there will be a title also given. So looking at the title, you can predict what the passage is about. Okay, so when you look at the passage, you may not be able to identify what it is, but with the title you can sometimes predict, or when you have a quick reading through the passage, you can also predict what is the passage all about. So that you can do through prediction. Okay, so after that you may also try skimming or scanning also, you can say. Skimming and scanning, you can say. So what do? You just have to get the important words. As you go on reading the passage, just get the important words. Okay. So this I'm telling, if at all you are reading the passage first. Few people have the habit of reading the passage first and then going to the question answer, then going to read the questions. Okay. So in that case, you just have to skim. Means like when you boil milk, you just skim the layer, like you take the top layer off. So that way you just get the important points. You just grasp the important points in your mind. Okay. So that is called as skimming. So that you will do. Then you will guess. Guessing is the greatest part in this trick. Okay, so you just guess what is the passage about, what might be the possible answer, or you may also guess the question also. As you read the passage, you feel some point is important or some word is important, so that time you'll feel, yes, this question related to this sentence might come, or the question related to this word might come. So you sometimes guess also. Okay, then what do? You have to paraphrase. You have to paraphrase the passage. Paraphrasing means, suppose it's a very long passage, probably 2 or 3 paragraphs will be given, but as such in your question papers, usually 1 paragraph or at the most 2 paragraphs, 2 short paragraphs will be given. So whenever you come across this paragraph, you just have to read the paragraph, then paraphrase means you have to understand. Read a sentence, think, sit and think for a while. Have I understood this properly? Have I got the correct meaning of it? You just have to understand that. Okay, so that is called as paraphrasing, and you can just read the whole paragraph and you can just reiterate in your mind. So this is the meaning of it. Tell it in your own words. Okay, tell it in your mind in your own words, so you will be able to understand it little more easily. Okay, so maybe there are complicated words in the passage. What you have understood might be something else. Sometimes you may not be able to guess the meaning of the passage only. So that time what you should do, just paraphrase it. Have I understood it rightly? Maybe you have not got the meaning completely, but try to guess the meaning. Try to paraphrase it so that like your usual language, okay, that will help your mind to understand the meaning of it. So sometimes you don't understand the meaning, then that's fine, perfectly fine. You just leave it. Just go through the passage once and leave it. That is one way of doing it. Okay, so you just have to read the passage first, then try to guess the meaning. Okay, if you don't get the meaning, just paraphrase it in your mind, and wherever you have not understood it, just park it aside. We'll come back to it later. Okay, so what are the tips that we can follow in order to crack it very easily? So that is what we are going to understand now. But let me tell you, if at all you have not practiced this reading comprehension properly, it may be time consuming. Okay, so lot of time. Suppose in an exam, in a paper of 80 marks, at the most you may have to spend 5 to 8 minutes for this reading comprehension. 5 to 8 minutes at the max you can spend for this reading comprehension. Even above that, if you spend it, it will be time consuming, and that will no way help you. Just for 4 marks, you need not have to spend a lot of time. Yeah, of course, few people will do it in a jiffy. They require only seconds to do it. But sometimes for few people who are not used to that kind of comprehending and all, it is very difficult. That is the reason, like whenever you were in lower grades, they make you read the lesson and understand it by yourself. That is the background that was given for your reading comprehension. Okay, don't think reading comprehension will get over in your 3rd semester only. It will help you for your competitive exams also. If at all you want to attempt IAS, IPS and all, there for UPSC and all, you will have to attempt this reading comprehension also. That is the reason, even when you have come to 3rd semester degree, this reading comprehension is still there. Okay, even when you were you might have started doing this reading comprehension maybe from 3rd grade probably, isn't it? So from then till here, it is very important for us to understand what is there in the text. So that is the importance of reading comprehension. So if you don't practice it well, it will be time consuming. So make sure you do a proper background work before you attempt the examination. So start working from now on. Even now it is not too late. You can start working now, from now on. Okay, so if not, it will be time consuming. Okay, so once when you put lot of efforts in order to understand just 1.5 paragraphs, then it is obviously energy draining. You need lot of concentration to understand. If you don't understand, then you cannot answer the questions. If you can't answer the questions, that will have an effect on the other questions what you attempt. Obviously, that will be energy draining. So make sure you understand, you read the passage properly. Okay. Then sometimes it will be informative intensive. It means there will be too much of information to understand, wherein you will have to do it a little slowly also. Okay, sometimes information will be loaded. Each and every sentence will have at least 2 to 3 facts to understand. So that will be too much intense information for you to understand. Okay, so that time you should be very careful. You will have to spend lot of time if you don't practice it well. So these are the problems with reading comprehension passages. Okay, so what you have to do, that one we are going to understand. What are the tips to crack it, so that we are going to understand it now. Okay, so what is the solution for this? How do I solve this reading comprehension very quickly without any hassle? So how to do it? You need not have to emphasize on trivialities. What is trivialities? Trivialities are nothing but they are small or maybe unimportant, okay, or small issues or small matters, you can say. Okay, you can also say unimportant. Okay, for you it might be of importance, but there it is not at all important. Okay, suppose in a passage, we'll talk about Abraham Lincoln. So there is a passage that is given wherein Abraham Lincoln was born, and Abraham Lincoln's mom died when he was 9 years old. Then father married somebody, some other lady, and all these the stuff was given. So here, out of these 3 sentences, what I told, okay, out of these 3 sentences, probably Abraham Lincoln was born on this such and such a day. That is, yes, that is important. Mother died, yes, that also you might feel it is important. His father married another lady who taught him to read and write. That also may be important according to you. Okay, but the questions which are given after that, that may not at all focus on whom did the father marry or who taught him reading and writing. Nothing like that. Okay, so that may be very simple matter. So what should you do? I'll tell you what has to be done. So first thing is, you need not have to concentrate on trivialities. You don't know which is important, which is unimportant. So leave it. Just read the passage and leave it. You need not have to concentrate on you say some sentence which is given. You need not have to concentrate on each and every sentence there. Okay, just have a reading, have a glance of the passage. That is enough for you. Do not memorize. Please do not take trouble in the examination and memorize the whole stanza. I mean the whole paragraph. Okay, you need not have to remember the whole paragraph in order to answer all the questions. Okay, please do not memorize. Okay, please do not learn it by heart. Okay, just read the passage, then go to the questions directly. Then main thing is, do not read the passage first. Few of us have the habit of reading the passage. So what do I do? What should you do? Yes, even if you have the habit of reading the passage first, it is better you go to the questions first. Because when you read the passage, you will not know what to concentrate, what not to concentrate on. So what do? You just have to go to the questions first. Go to the questions, you will know where to concentrate, because you would have already known what are the questions that are asked. Isn't it? So go to the questions first, then you will know where to concentrate. So you will not spend much of time just focusing on these trivialities, that is a small issues what I said. Okay, and please do not emphasize on vocabulary skills. Suppose there is a new word, do not break your head understanding that word. You need not have to struggle to understand what the meaning of that word is. Sometimes you understand it by context. Sometimes you don't understand at all. Fine, that's perfectly fine. Leave it. You need not have to understand each and every word that is there in the passage. Okay, so please do not overemphasize on these vocabulary skills. Sometimes when you feel that yes, this preposition is not required, or this article is not required over here, or there is a grammatical mistake in the passage, please do not concentrate. You need not have to do it. Okay, that is not your job in the examination. Your work is only to find answers and write it. Okay, so do not emphasize on these vocabulary skills. Leave it. You don't understand? Perfectly fine. Leave it. Go further. Okay, then do not take comprehensions that you cannot comprehend first. Go through the passage. You don't understand? Leave it. Park it aside. Finish answering all the other things. Okay, when you come to grammar, suppose you answer all these 1 mark questions, 10 mark questions, 4 mark, 5 mark questions, all these you answer first. Then come to grammar. So we tend to take up this reading comprehension first because we know that answer will be there already. We just have to search for the answers. So you need not have to go in detail. You cannot understand, leave it. We'll come back to you at the last. So answer the other things. You have active passive voice, you have one word substitutions, you have to frame sentences on your own. So all these things are there. Okay. So there are so many other things to write. So go for that first. Then come back to this reading comprehension. You need not have to attempt the passage at first. Even though it is given first, you need not have to attempt it in the beginning only. Okay. So leave it, come back to it later. Then first thing you have to keep in mind is there is no, especially in the reading comprehension, there is no answer that comes from outside the passage. Okay, so there is no answer that comes from outside the passage. So make sure you have to look for the correct option. You have to look for the correct option from inside the paragraph only. Okay, so whatever is given to you, whatever question is given to you, you have to look for the answers within the passage only. So there is nothing that is going to come from outside the passage. Suppose they ask you to find the synonym of some word. Synonym is nothing but the meaning, the word that contains the same meaning. Okay, suppose you are asked for that, you don't have to think too much and write. Just look for the answer within the paragraph. Okay, though you might know so many words, you may know so many words, so many synonyms that are there for that word that is given in the question. But please do not go out of the box. Please think inside the box only. Okay, you have to look for the answer within the paragraph only. That saves a lot of time. You need not have to be, your energy will not be drained. Okay, so make sure you look for the answer within the paragraph only. Fine. Then you need not have to rely on the trigger words. What are these trigger words? So in the question, there might be one word that is given. Okay, who made him a literate or something. Okay, so then you keep on looking for that word, literate. So the same word you will be looking for. You will be waiting to search for that word. And again, how many times you read the passage? Once, twice, thrice, you are not getting that word. Please stop looking for that trigger word. Stop looking for it. What is, suppose I say, we just spoke about Abraham Lincoln. Okay, who taught him, who made him literate, or who helped him to be literate? That means, what is literacy? Somebody who teaches to read and write. Somebody who knows reading and writing is called as a literate. So who made Abraham Lincoln literate? So who helped him to read and write? That is given. That's why you should learn one word substitution. Okay, reading and writing, that is literacy. So this word, had you known this word literacy, then I'm just giving a simple example. This may not be there like this in your case. You may know this word, but sometimes that the very simple words or very simple things actually trouble you too much. Okay, so whenever you are asked that word, so stop looking for this trigger words. You can just look for the answers. Okay, so then you have to make notes. Yes, on the question paper, you are not supposed to write anything, but you can you use a pencil and you can just make a note of few things. Do not mark anything in pen. You can just make a note in pencil and you can erase it later also. But before that, I'm talking about those passages which you are practicing in class. Okay, so we'll have enough practice for reading comprehension. Okay, so you have to make notes for that. Making notes whenever you read a passage. So it is like marking important words maybe, or maybe sometimes you feel, yes, this word can come in the question. So that also you can mark there. Okay, suppose you have a habit of reading the passage first, just mark the important points. Like Abraham Lincoln was born, just mark the date and year. So it might come later in the question. So you will also develop a habit of guessing the questions. Okay, so that time you can just make notes in few places. Then sometimes you will have to concentrate on the opening and closing paragraphs. That will be most important. Sometimes, suppose you have 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay, you'll have to concentrate on the initial paragraph or maybe towards the ending of the paragraph. That is very important. Okay, because sometimes trivial matters also might have been cited in the questions. Like you might have to take that as answers for questions. Okay, and that might be hiding in one corner. Okay, sometimes we just feel that the actual content of the reading passage might be there in the middle, and we concentrate more on the second paragraphs. In a reading comprehension of 3 paragraphs, suppose I concentrate only on the second paragraph, then I will not be, so I have not concentrated on the initial or the closing paragraph. So what happens? I miss out the most important answer there. Okay, then I feel, yes, I'm not getting the answer. Then suppose I have kept this reading comprehension to write in the end, then I'll be so desperate to finish writing it. Okay, I may not have enough time. So what do? Yes, it is right in feeling like, yes, this 4 marks I can get it easily, and if I have to attempt it first, then that 4 marks will be secure. Yes, it is right in feeling, but yes, it is also important that you need not have to spend so much like lot of time for something which is there only for less marks. Okay, so you just have to, if at all you're doing it, if at all you're reading the whole passage, please concentrate on each and every line. Okay, before I might have told that the trivial matters don't matter, but only thing is you just have to read the passage once. Okay, even after you read the questions, you have to read the passage once, but when you read the questions first and then go to the passage, you will concentrate on wherever it is required. Okay, you need not have to concentrate in unnecessary places. Okay, so you just have to concentrate whenever you're reading the passage, you just have to concentrate on opening and closing paragraphs also. Okay, then you just have to constantly question. See, first, if at all you're reading the passage, this question doesn't arise at all. Okay, so suppose you read the question first. You read the question first and then go back to the passage. So those questions will already be there in your mind. Okay, those questions will already be there in your mind. So whenever you're reading the passage, so those questions keep coming to your mind, isn't it? So when those questions come, so as you read the passage, you'll just start finding the answers. Okay, so since those questions are already in your mind, you'll just find the answers and you know where to concentrate. Okay, so that will be very easy for you. So while reading the passage, you will constantly recall the questions. So which is very easy for you, which is very less time consuming. Okay, you need not have to spend too much of time in reading the passage, like getting the answers there. Okay, so these are the most important tricks that you have to follow whenever you are going for a reading comprehension. Okay, so hope this session was very useful to you. Okay, so I would like you to practice some reading comprehension. Okay, then come back and ask me any doubt if at all you have. I'm always there to help you. Okay, so let us meet again in our next session, which is all about our question paper pattern. We are going to solve the previous year's question papers. Okay, so let us meet again, children, in our next session. So till then, keep practicing, keep learning. I'm always there to help you. Let us meet again in our next session. So hope this session was very helpful to you. Keep learning, children. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.